to my channel. It is officially the holiday season. It's finally actually here. Not that I haven't already been celebrating and listening to Christmas music in my car anyway, but the holiday season has officially begun, and to get into the spirit here on my channel, I decided to create a healthy holiday recipe for you guys. So I don't know about you, but probably hands down one of my favorite Christmas time or holiday desserts would be 7-layer bars, which I think people also call magic bars. I mean, like, they're heaven. They're just heaven. They melt in your mouth. They have so many different textures and flavors, and they're just like everything you could ever want in a tiny little square of deliciousness. That being said, I decided to challenge myself to try and come up with a healthier version that still tastes amazing. They are absolutely delicious, and they are just not quite as unhealthy as the original version. Pretty much all of the ingredients I'll be using to make these 7-layer bars are from iherb.com. If you guys have never been over to their site, you should definitely check it out if you are a fan of like all things health and wellness. They've got a ton of different stuff on there. My favorites are specifically just all the different healthy food brands that they carry, and they also have a ton of like organic natural beauty stuff, which is pretty cool. If you guys have seen my skincare routine, you know I try and incorporate that wherever I can. And they were nice enough to offer me a coupon code for all of my subscribers. So if you guys want to get 10% off your first order, just use the code BECK2616. That's it, yep, at checkout, and you'll get 10% off your first order. And then for all orders, like not coupon code or anything, you always get free shipping once you spend $20, so that's awesome. So without further ado, let's get into my healthy holiday recipe. Alright guys, so to get started, here's just a shot of some of the different ingredients I'll be using. As you can see, besides the chocolate chips, everything is just a whole, real food, nothing refined or processed, which helps make these bars a lot healthier than the original version. So the very first thing is to put a pot on high heat, and we're going to drop in 1 can of full-fat coconut milk. And next I'm going to be adding some honey to this pot. I'm going to be leaving all of the measurements for each ingredient down below in the description box because that's just easier. I will also leave a link to each of the ingredients that I got from iHerb down below in the description box as well. The next thing I'm going to do once I get both the honey and coconut milk in there is just whisk it up, make sure they're both nicely combined, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil for 1 minute. And then I'm going to reduce it to about a medium heat, pop the lid on, and let it simmer for about 20 minutes so it can cook down. And once the 20 minutes is up, I'm just going to go ahead and pour that mixture into a separate measuring cup just to let it cool a little bit, and I'm going to let it set aside. Moving on, it's time to make the crust. I'm going to be throwing some old-fashioned rolled oats, some pecans or pecans, and cinnamon into a food processor, and I am just going to process that up until it becomes kind of like a coarse flour. And then after that, I'm just going to be popping in some medjool dates. Make sure to take the pit out, which is like the seed on the inside, first before you throw them in, and then I'm just going to continue to keep processing that so it just gets a little bit more clumpy. And then once that is all complete, I will go ahead and add in just a little bit of almond milk just to give it a little bit of moisture so that it can clump up and become dough-like even more. So again, just go ahead and give that a good process, and you will see it starts to get a lot more clumpy and more like dough. And when it's all done, it will kind of look like this. And then you will go ahead and just throw all of that dough mixture into a bowl just so that it's easier to roll it up. And then I will pretty much just create a big ball of dough with this date, oat, nut mixture. And once I have my big ball of dough, I'm going to go ahead and grab a little glass baking sheet. I believe this one is 8 by 8.5 inches. 8 by 8 would have been perfect. But I'm just going to go ahead and kind of squish this down and spread it around with my fingers. This will take a minute, but it's really not that difficult. You just want to make sure to get it as even as possible so that I can form a really nice crust for these bars. Then I'm just going to grab a little bit of tin foil because I want to pre-bake this crust. And once I get my tin foil on, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this in the oven for 10 minutes. And you're going to want the oven to be at 375 degrees. And then once that's out of the oven, it is time to add on our toppings. So I'm taking more of those pecans and I'm just layering them on. Hindsight is 2020. I don't know why I didn't chop these up. I was just clearly not thinking, so definitely chop them up. But once I have my little pecan layer down, I'm just gonna try and press them into the crust as much as I can, just so it creates a better layer and everything isn't like loose and floating around. Next, I'm just gonna be adding on a nice little layer of chocolate chips, and then we will add on the final topping layer, which is some unsweetened coconut flakes. And then once I have that all down, I'm just gonna go ahead and take that honey coconut milk mixture we made earlier and just pour this all over. And then I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a shake just so I know that it's kind of all even and we have just a really nice layer of this mixture and it's not patchy. And then once I do all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and pop it back in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, and you want it to be at 350. So make sure you knock your temperature down a little bit. I think I took mine out at like 28 minutes. And after baking, they will look like this. Oh my gosh, look at that toasty goodness. So you're gonna wanna let them sit out on the counter to come to room temperature and then throw some plastic wrap on it and refrigerate it overnight just to help the bars really set and make sure they don't fall apart on you. And then once it is finally the next day, you can pull this baby out of the refrigerator. Doesn't it look so good? I cannot wait to dig in. But once you have it out, you can go ahead and grab like a pretty sharp knife just so that you can cut the edges away from the pan. You wanna make sure you get like a really nice clean cut so they lift up nicely. And then just go ahead and slice up your bars. Now these are obviously not going to taste just like 7-layer bars or magic bars, but they do taste pretty damn good. They're creamy and they're decadent and will definitely satisfy your sweet tooth just in a healthier way. So that's it, guys. That is how you make my healthy 7-layer bars. They're seriously so delicious and decadent, but definitely healthier than the original version. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching it, and also thank you to iHerb for sponsoring this video and making it happen. You guys should definitely go check out their website. They've got so much cool stuff on there, and I don't think I mentioned this before, but they have this thing called loyalty credit, where basically every time you put an order in, 10% of what you spend goes into your next order. So you basically get 10% off and it just goes towards your next order. So it's just another cool thing they offer, and I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that to you guys. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, definitely make sure to do so you can join my little community here on YouTube. And then of course, if you are not following me on Instagram and Snapchat, you should be. I'm on there pretty much every day and would love to connect with you guys on there. But thank you for like the 4th time for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!